Oliver Holm of Sweden, Sean McFarland of the United States are the referees for this game tonight between Switzerland and Norway. Patrick Fisher's team is not only 3-0, has not allowed a goal yet in this tournament, outscoring the opposition 15-0 so far. And Craig Ramsey's team is coming off a 2-1 shootout defeat at the hands of Canada in a hard-fought battle between those two that went down to the wire and then some. And Nico Hischier joins Team Switzerland alongside his New Jersey teammate Jonas Siegenthaler. So in recent days they've added Kevin Fiala, Hischier and Siegenthaler to an already very strong group that has never won a gold medal at the World Championship. 2 silvers in the last decade are their only medals in the last 60 years. But Hischier, a career high 34 goals this year, or 31 goals rather this year for Switzerland, adds a lot of depth down the middle. Robert Meyer is the goaltender for the Swiss. Had a shutout against Norway, 14 shots. He backstopped Geneva to its first ever Swiss League title this past season. And 21-year-old Samuel Levi allowed 1 goal on 43 shots in a great performance against Canada. A 3-time member of Slovakia's national junior team, played 2 years in Sherbrooke in the Quebec League. Switzerland won the last 3 meetings, including a 5-3 win last year. Slovakia was undefeated in the first 6 meetings with Switzerland at the World Championship, 4-0-2.
Okay, guys, let's have a good one. Marek, you first. Good.
And away we go. So, job number 1 for Slovakia, trying to get one on Switzerland. Easier said than done.
It's been 3 different teams have tried that job. No one's yet accomplished it.
Brought in now by Milos Kelemen. Thrown back in front by Rivik, the Slovak captain. Merrick Rivik's pass went astray, and Tanner Richard sends that back down to the Slovak zone. Slovakia opened with a 3-2 loss to Czechia, a game they led 1-0 and 2-1. Then beat Latvia in a close one 2-1 and lost that shootout 2-1 to Canada. They're now 2-6 in World Championship shootouts. Back to Sukol. Scored a key goal in that Latvia game. Meyer plays that back, and there's Siegenthaler playing it around. Jonas Siegenthaler, one of the better defensive defensemen in the NHL.
This is a newly revamped, loaded up #1 unit. Kukan on defense with Siegenthaler, Hischier, Fiala, and Dennis Malgin, who's been great in the middle, moved to the wing on the top line.
Malgin 4 points in 3 games for Switzerland. Here he is, Malgin. Back to Siegenthaler, got away from him. That pass misfired for Malgin. And icing called against the Swiss. Now, incorporating these players can be tricky sometimes when the tournament's already well underway.
It can be, but Nico Hischier was here last year. He's played with the Swiss before. He understands the system, his role in it. The guys on the team are used to having him around, so they're not going to be intimidated or walking on eggshells that a captain of an NHL team rolled in the locker room. Same with Kevin Fiala. I think they do have an advantage there. It's not like they're introducing completely foreign athletes into their group.
The other advantage for teams like Switzerland and other European teams is they have full-time national teams during the year. They play in a variety of tournaments. There are national team breaks throughout the season. Meyer plays that back across. Janis Moser. And the Arizona Coyotes drop that back. Enzo Corvi comes winding ahead. Corvi with Nino Niederreiter moving in. And that's sent back to center ice. Niederreiter moves in, but the play's offside at the Slovak line.
And we've been raving about how good Switzerland has played so far. So for Slovakia, the challenge is to slow them down. You know, clog up the neutral zone, be physical in the battles, understand that they are going to have everyone attacking all the time, and be organized in your own end, organized up the ice to give yourself a chance to have the structure to play against Switzerland.
Slovakia went 1 for 7 on the power play in that game against Canada, including a handful of power play chances in the 3rd period. Eitan Haas, former Edmonton Oilers, brings it up. Think wide he goes for Miranda. That's poked away by Adam Janešek. Slovakia's got 2 additions today. Andre Kaduna is in their lineup. Mario Lunter as well has been added. Now the puck loose behind the Swiss goal. Lunter plays it back. Dado shoots. It gets through, and Meyer quickly pounces on the rebound.
You just mentioned Mario Lunter into the lineup, and Craig Ramsey said he's big, he can forecheck, he wins a puck below the goal line, gets it back, then works to get to the front of the net. And Gaito's head up, find a seam somewhere between all those bodies, and he does. Unfortunately for Slovakia, Meyer could see it as well.
Switzerland rolled through the preliminary round last year, went 6-0-1 to start, then ran into a red-hot Jeremy Swayman of the United States in goal in the quarterfinals. They lost 3-0. Simon Nemec also added to the Slovak roster recently. Throws that back of a rebound, and a great stop there by Meyer as he turns away Richard Panik.
It's a good start for Slovakia. Shots from the point, traffic, activity. And Kelvin just a hair late on Meyer's rebound cover. And while the goaltenders obviously have been good for Switzerland, they haven't really been tested. So while they do have 3 straight shutouts, Slovakia would want to see what they're like under some pressure. Quality chances.
Nemec shoots, it goes off a leg, and Fiala knocks that out. Panik picks it back up, and behind the play,
he's fine, get up.
After Koch was taken down, heads back to the Slovak bench.
Oh, glove up in the face from Fiala. Don't think he's hurt.
Switzerland actually won over the full complement of skaters for this tournament, but Calvin Turkov got hurt and is out for the tournament. Shoulder surgery. The injury was so severe, so the Swiss applied to the IIHF and are allowed to make an injury replacement. That didn't used to be the case. That's now been opened up in the post-COVID years.
That makes sense. As Kevin Fiala having some words for the Slovakia bench. So, I don't know, shoulder into the chin doesn't feel good. No penalty there. Fiala keeps that elbow relatively tucked. Although contact with the head in any capacity can be a penalty. So, Koch's not happy about it, but he's fine.
Kevin Fiala, first year with the Los Angeles Kings this year at 23 goals. 33 the year before with Minnesota.
He gave LA what they're looking for. That secondary scoring option. Didn't have to play with Kopitar.
Niederreiter drops it up to Corby. Enzo Corby winding in. Corby trying to center it. That was blocked by German. Niederreiter spins it back down. German shove up the puck by Corby. Andres Ambuel, the all-time leader in games and World Championships played. Corby got dumped in front, lost his stick in the process. Lauser through the middle, knocked down by Hudacek. Libor Hudacek. Split ahead by Haas. Look at that. Levi leaps out and pokes that away.
Get out there, Levi.
Here we're 0 on that one. Now 2-on-1. Miranda plays it across, and a hard shot taken there by Daryl Simeon, kicked away by Levi. Now another chance in front. Miranda turned away. Great start here in the first period. Marty plays it back across. Lawful long shot. Rebound loose in front. And Romiak lifts that past Lawful and back down the ice. That'll be icing against Slovakia. Some early pressure from Switzerland.
Slovakia gets caught up ice a couple different times. And Levi, you're right. You got to make a decision, and you got to go. If you hesitate, you are lost. If you miss the puck, you're in trouble. But he does neither. And able to get out there, and you got to get it past the ball. You got Hudacek diving, Haas diving. Levi gets out to it first.
Here's Siegenthaler back with it. Malgin to Siegenthaler. Shoot, scores! Nice to see you, Jonas Siegenthaler.
I thought he was here for his defense.
So did he.
Jonas Siegenthaler, second shift, first goal. One draw, a little help from Malgin. Give and go, and good job in front. Hischier wins the faceoff, drags the Konachko in front of the net, and then Siegenthaler opens up, powers it over top of the pad. Let's look from behind the net. Levine looking left. It comes right of the pile, tougher to track. And Switzerland, so we're 5 minutes in, opens the scoring.
Siegenthaler had 4 goals for New Jersey this year. He was acquired from Washington after being a second-round pick of the Caps. He was a cap casualty in Washington. He just didn't have room to give him a new contract, so he was moved to New Jersey for a third-round pick, and he was fit like a glove with the Devils.
He's been fantastic. Nice little sauce by Dennis Malgin. Sits flat by the time he gets out there. Slovakia got caught 2-on-1-ing Malgin. That forced the rotation. Tougher to stay in the shooting lane for Siegenthaler, and he powered it home. Nico Hischier picked up an assist for winning the faceoff, so both the new guys are on the board.
In the first 5 minutes of the period. Simone Nemeth did the same thing for Slovakia. They hopped off a plane and played 24 minutes for them in that overtime game.
They don't come all this way to watch.
Berchi.
Oh, get out of the way. He's frustrated.
The
linesman skates.
Staring back at David Nottinger, the Austrian linesman. Now Richard moves in and shoots, and Tanner Richard put that high.
Slovakia's got to tighten up their line changes and their last line of defense. Too many guys get behind them.
Switzerland attacking waves here. Berchi plays it down to Niederreiter. Back for Berchi. Berchi centers it. It's knocked away by Chacho. Moser's shot was off leg, bounces right down to Corby. Corby for Niederreiter. Niederreiter spins it back in front. Ambuel couldn't get it on goal. And the Slovaks lift it out. Charlestown even at 3. The Slovaks had the first 3 shots of the period. And Moser flips it back down to the Slovak zone. Ambuel with a hit there on Koch, who's had a rough and tumble first period.
He's a physical player. You run into people all the time. Sometimes you'll get the worst of it.
Rudacek has it go over his head. Bounces the Rivnik, moving in. Tap that wide. Meyer is down. Robert Meyer.
He got clipped by Marty, his own defenseman, I think.
Slow to get to his feet. With Switzerland leading 1-0 here in the first. The 3-year-old Robert Meyer shaking things off after taking a rear end of the head in that last rush.
And it was Rivik who got in there, but he was helped by Marty. Shake it on out, see him, and make sure all the stiffness out there. It's, you see him working his neck out because he did get jolted pretty hard in the side of his head. And
Meyer spent a number of years in North America, played a couple of years with St. John in the Quebec Major Junior League, 5 years with Hamilton in the American League. Then Montreal's farm team. Here's Hudacek, throws that through the crease. Igor Hudacek on a 5-minute major game misconduct in the game against Canada. Good boarding. Konachko. Off to Sukol. Lead pass. And a breakaway just missed on there by Kaderna, who's fresh in the Slovak lineup. Hudacek lays that back. Rosendic shoots from a sharp angle. That goes wide. Sukel with it. Lays it back. And that shot by Hudacek flutters wide.
All right, Kaderna jumps in the lineup. He should handle that clean. He's in alone. He just rolled off his stick for no apparent reason.
Romain Loeffel lays that back for Christian Marty. Rosendic for Regenda. Slovaks bronze medalists at the Olympics in Beijing in 2022. We have 9 members of that bronze medal team here now. Coached by Craig Ramsey.
Yuri Slavkovsky, who was a big star at both this tournament last year as well as the Olympics a couple years ago.
That's offside at the Slovak line. Slavkovsky rehabbing a knee injury, something we went through all this year in his first NHL season.
Here's the flipper. Take a look at Rivik driving wide, and he does get his pant right into the side of the head of Meyer. You're focused in on the puck. You're not bracing yourself for a collision, and you see there the jolt that Meyer gets into the head. I wonder if there's a concussion spotter, because when you grab your head like that in the NHL, that's generally cause for a potential review or a pull from the game.
Glauser fires that down. There's Niederreiter with it. Moser banks it back in. Ambuel. Andres Ambuel back for Moser. As he goes to Glauser for Corby. Just playing keep away the Slovak zone. The centering pass goes up Niederreiter's skate. Moser shoots. Levi down. Glauser. Ambuel fires. That was blocked. Still loose in front. Niederreiter digging for it. And racing back to pick it up. Here's Glauser. Plays up for Niederreiter. Chaho. That pass for Ocular was knocked away. And played back up by Frantisek Gaidos. For Ocular. Stepped into him. That pass taken away. A little backhand shot there by Kellerman. And a sharp save made there by Meyer.
A good forecheck by Slovakia, turning pucks over. As Geiser's trying to go all the way back, but Rivik jumps the return pass to Haas. Gets it in front. This rolling puck's kind of hard to get a hold of for Kellerman. Tries to swat it, but not enough on it to do any damage. And every good chance, I mean, you'd like to get a goal because you like a goal, but to know that Switzerland's not impervious to mistakes.
One chance in front. And once again, Meyer makes the save, this time on Rivik.
Yeah, Rivik's been all over the puck in this first period so far.
Rivik, the Slovak captain, moves on ahead to Kellerman. Trying to find Panik. He's muscled off the puck by Fora. Fora plays for H.C. Davos. That's turned over to Nemetz. Nemetz winds in, shoots from a sharp angle. Meyer makes the stop and contains that.
A good response by Slovakia after giving up the goal. Some shifts in the offensive zone, creating some opportunities off a high roll. Rivik jumps down, as does Kellerman, and they beat both their checks to the front of the net. Just again, can't quite handle the puck cleanly right in front of the net. Any time for a new stick.
Sukel for the face-off. There's Tanner Richard, who came into this game with the top face-off percentage in the tournament. He wins that one. Richard hacks at that. Nicely waved off as Wehrman goes back. Someone's mouth guard is down there behind the Slovak goal.
They'll probably just grab it and put it back in.
Yeah.
That's the worst part of the whole equation.
Which is disgusting, but Sukel chips that back down to the Swiss zone. Berchi takes that away. First off, Berchi.
Could be worse. Could drop it on the bench, which is
even worse.
Even worse.
And Richard drops it back. Martin in, fires! And Levi makes the stop. 1-0 Switzerland leads here in the first period in Riga, Latvia. So there are the Slovak fans, the Slovaks, the Czechs, the Swiss, all have large contingents of fans here.
A lot of red suits flying around the city this morning.
You need one of those. You need the fitted red suit.
Sure, I do, but lots to go around apparently.
Hard club to pull off. Here's Fiala. Up head to Malgin. Dennis Malgin tries to drop that back off. Romiak picks it up for Regenda. Look at that right to the front of the goal. Rosendic settles things down for Slovakia. 2-2-1. The goal scored by Slovakia in the first 3 games so far. 0-0-0. The goals allowed by Switzerland so far. As Moser moves in with his teammates changing. Moser slides back. Looks at the Corby. Corby trying to shield off Lunter, and a penalty coming out of Slovakia. Mario Lunter, and he just arrived in the tournament, is going to make his way to the penalty box for the first time.
Physical's good. Reaching with your bottom hand, not so good. Grab and the spin, and easy to call. So Switzerland heads to the power play. Clicking along nicely at 42%. 5 of 12 in the tournament so far. Dennis Malgin is the shooter. So he's gotten a couple good looks on the power play. Now introducing another new guy. As it's an all NHL power play up front.
Yeah. And Kuka was in the NHL until last year with Columbus. Came back to Europe this year, playing for Zurich in the Swiss League.
Nico Hischier getting a little reminder on the face-off rules. Right, I can't use my feet.
Malgin. Draw against Sukol. Switzerland 5 for 12 on the power play. They had 4 against Slovenia in their opener. Here's Kukan with it. For Fiala. Fiala works in. Steps around Koch. Swings that rink wide. Niederreiter walks right in and shoots. That was blocked by Kaderna. Hischier for Niederreiter. Back down to Hischier trying to center. It was blocked by Yadisek. Hischier got it back up. Pivots in behind the goal, slides that back to Fiala. No shortage of options on this power play. Malgin shoots and Yadisek blocks that. Kukan to Malgin. Malgin back for Kukan. Toss he goes to Fiala. Holds and shoots. That's just wide. Minute to go on the power play. Fiala. Kukan. Back to Fiala, holds and shoots, trying to find a stick in front that was blocked instead by Kaderna. Malgin centers from Niederreiter, a little back pass there to Fiala. Fiala with a goal mouth. Hischier goes between the legs and can't get a shot away. And a diving Kukan can't knock it down at the line. Dean Kukan, 7 years in the Columbus organization, drops that back. For Romain Loeffel. For Haas, who stumbles. Sweeps it across for Miranda, in for Ambiol. Andres Ambiol. Miranda leaves it there for Haas. Haas. Back for Loeffel. Back he goes to Corby, drops it back. Loeffel unloads. Slovakia just the tip of his glove on that. Luther steps back on. The side of the goal could get a stick on that. And now Kadashko banks it back across to German as both teams change. That lead pass picked off by Haas. He needs off. Slides it back to Richard. And to Richard. In with Markham, Ontario. Former draft pick of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Here comes Herzog with it. Herzog. Alice for that. Finds Richard. Back he goes to Geiser. Richard. Swings it back in for Herzog. 5.5 to go in the opening period. Switzerland with a 1-0 lead on Slovakia. Nemitz being harassed there by Herzog. Pivots back. The number 2 pick in the last NHL draft. Slovakia had 3 players picked in the first round. Slavkovsky first overall, Nemitz second, and Philip Meshar went later in the first round in Montreal. A banner year for Slovakia in so many ways. The bronze medal at the Olympics and the success of their young players. And they've got one of the best young female players in the world, too, a 14-year-old phenom.
She is highlight reel material every time she plays.
And the puck stolen by Regenda. Across for Romiak. Romiak shoots, but not high. At the point, Dinos keeps it alive. Malgin kicks that free. It's picked out by Hischier. As you mentioned, Mike, a finalist for the Selke Trophy as the NHL's top defensive forward.
Jersey has a bright future. Got Nemitz coming soon. Played this year in the minors. Luke Hughes made his pro debut as well.
Well, the presence not bad either.
No.
Kellerman. Rivik. Trying to drop that back, picked up, Ambuel in a race, and Janicic played that away from him. The 39-year-old Ambuel couldn't quite get there, but give it a good attempt.
Still Scoot.
Kukan or Corby.
Kukan looks to be in some distress. Head to the bench, big time.
Yeah. Chipped ahead by Miranda, but Haas couldn't contain that. Mihaly Vaughn lost the puck to Miranda. Kanashko back around Haas with it. For Moser. Moser to Haas. Now this Moser a long shot. Levi gloved it down but couldn't hang on to it. And Kanashko pivots back. As the Slovak get the change, as do the Swiss. 3 to go in the opening period. Suko. Back for Kanashko. Slides ahead for Ocular. Ocular. Swings it back in, picked off by Richard, sends it to center ice. And Rosendic heads back for it. The puck skipped out of it at the last moment. Sends it down. This will be an icing call against the Slovaks.
Maybe the best chance the power play comes to this one time. Lawful gets all of this. Perfect setup by Corby. Tees him right up. It's one-on-one. He's going top glove. And the cheater, aptly named as it connects the trapper to the forearm area, catches a piece of it to turn it aside. Levi's been solid. And that first one got by him.
Played this year for Slovan Bratislava in the Slovak Extra League. Malgin. Got the center of that. Now Fiala on it. Kukan kicks out ahead. Picked up by Fiala. Back for Malgin. In for Fiala. Siegenthaler jumped in as well. And now a penalty coming to Slovakia. Fiala with that rush. And of course the Slovaks into a penalty. Extra skater comes on. It's Niederreiter. Siegenthaler to Kukan. Malgin. That pass broken up, and the Slovaks finally touch up with 2:03 to go in the opening period. Switzerland's going back to the power play. Simon Nemec goes off for holding, so Switzerland goes back on the power play for the second time in the game.
In a sense, the strength of Kevin Fiala, be able to work loose from Nemec and draw the penalty.
There's that draw, and it's moved by Loeffel, and back down to the Swiss zone. Corby winds his way out, slides it across for Haas, but the play's offside.
Incidental contact.
The official right away saying that's not interference. He wants to talk to Ponick about it.
They're going to have that conversation. Oh, I don't know. Ambil was to drag his leg there just enough. You're not really, the argument you're both entitled to your rights, but you're not really. As the offensive player, you kind of have to concede where the defensive guy wants to go. Not sure why, I don't think that's in the rules, but that's how it's generally regarded.
Here's Haas with it. Back to Loeffel. And away comes Gaetan Haas. Dances around Sukel. Winds in, throws that rink wide for Ambil. Back to Corby. Enzo Corby to Loeffel. Back for Haas. Slides that down for Miranda. Now Haas gathers it back up. Gaetan Haas. There's it for Miranda. The pass misfired. Loeffel steps up and keeps it alive. In for Corby. Janishek worked that free hook. Rang that off Corby. That drops down. Final minute now. The period. Haas moves in and shoots. Levi the save. That stung Levi.
See the puck just fall out after the fact. Up on the collarbone area. Hope it didn't get anywhere near his throat. He doesn't wear one of those protectors, neck danglers that Patrick Waugh, Marc-Andre Fleury wears, which seems crazy to me, but that was a high drive by Gaetan Haas. Right up in, stuck up under the mask collarbone of Levi. That's where it hit. Haas gets a lot of this one. Trying to find up over the glove, and he's tucked in. His chin is down. He's not pulled up. It's just wedged its way through there. It looks like he's going to be okay. There's 54 seconds left. This is a pivotal 54 seconds for Slovakia.
51 seconds on the power play for Switzerland.
That's the backup. Stanislav Skorvanek, who's been good in this tournament.
He's here for the face-off. Scramble draw, won by Switzerland. Kukan for Fiala, back to Kukan, to Fiala, shoots, Levi kicks it out, rebound, moved out by Kanashko. And even now, Levi is kind of shaking his shoulder, kind of still shake that off. He's here, drops it back to Fiala, 30 seconds to go in the power play. Kukan, back for Fiala, trying to feed up to Golmov, Mihaly Ivan broke that up. He's here, back on it, banks that back to Kukan. Fiala, he watched by Chaho. He's here. To Fiala. Final seconds of this power play. Kukan. Back across. Mulligan shoots. Hit it Levi's arm. Bounces away. Final seconds of the period. Kukan to Fiala. Fires. That goes wide. And Slovakia survives a late Swiss power play. The Swiss go to the dressing room with a 1-0 lead. Jonas Siegenthaler's first game of the World Championship. He scored to give the Swiss the early lead.
Non, il était un peu loin, du coup je me suis dit, bah, il arrive pas en... Peut-être le top 5, il aura un peu de marche à Slovène.
have a good one. Okay, guys, let's have a good one. Marek, you first. Good, good, good. Block! Hey! Block! Move! Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go!
Allez, derrière. Ball service lead.
Samuel Lai allowed 1 goal on 10 shots in that opening period. Took a nasty one to the collarbone late. And Robert Meyer continues the run for Switzerland. 200 straight minutes without allowing a goal. They're 97 minutes off the modern-day shutout streak record set in 2015 by Finland. They're 6 minutes away from 3rd overall. That's the post-war era.
Regardless, as they knock them off, jump over people, it's been an incredible run defensively to start the tournament.
Really has.
Doesn't matter who they play. Slovenia, Norway, Kazakhstan, now Slovakia. Teams are teams. No one else has been able to do it.
Their toughest tests ahead. Canada on Saturday, Czechia Sunday, and they close out against Latvia on Tuesday, the game that could have massive importance for Latvia.
For Latvia, but in many ways, if form holds, the game against Canada would likely be for first place.
Right.
Which they had last year as well, did Switzerland, and it didn't help them get through the quarters.
Well, they played well against the U.S. They got just okay goaltending, and the Americans got tremendous goaltending from Jeremy Swayman. We're off to a bit of a pedestrian start here into the bench, icing. But the Slovaks are in it.
And that is just it. They're in it. They didn't get blown out. They had a couple chances. Yeah, a point shot went in early on, but they pushed back. And even though they took a couple penalties.
All 3 of their games so far decided by 1 goal, including that shootout loss to Canada. Hischier wins the face-off back to Kukan. Back across to Malgin. Siegenthaler shoots. That slow roller almost tipped home by Malgin. Tried to cash from behind the goal line. That was kicked away by Lai. Siegenthaler to Malgin. Dennis Malgin. Slides out into Hischier. In comes Nico Hischier. Back in front for Malgin. Couldn't tap that home. Cook plays that back around for Simon Nemetz. The 19-year-old with a great first North American pro year with Utica, the American Hockey League. Now in comes Richard Paddock. Paddock. Dropped up for a moment by Kukan. And Kukan has it ahead to Hischier. He finds Fiala. Kevin Fiala drops it back for Nico Hischier. Switzerland changing. Hischier goes right wide. Ambuel off the bench with a rolling puck. He fired that wide. Panashko up to center ice. Ambuel knocks that down. Picked up now by Niederreiter. Niederreiter drops that back for the trailer Moser. That was blocked by Suko. Kellerman up for Suko. He's got Kadurna with him. And Kadurna goes in and wraps up Corby. Ambuel for Glauser. Back goes Rosendich for it. Gustav Rosendich plays in the Czech extra league. He was kicked out of the opener against Czechia for a kneeing major. Suko has that taken by Gaidos. And the Swiss will regroup. Switzerland's made the quarters 5 straight years as Haas moves in, puts that high.
Clipped off Gaido's stick, I think.
Patrick Fischer, their coach, talked about the fact that when he was a player, they were up and down from Division 1A. They were a team that was always trying to avoid relegation. Then they became a team that would like to battle for a quarterfinal spot. Now they've evolved into a team that thinks they can contend for a gold medal every year. Simeon drops that back for Lawful. Lawful shoots. Levi makes the stop on that and hangs on.
He's not wrong. They can absolutely vie for a gold medal. Now, they've never won a gold medal in their country's history in this tournament, but so far they've been the class of this group. And so the question is, can they run off 3 in a row against the best teams? You look at the high-end talent, which has sort of been one of the limiting things for them in years past. Can they create offense against the very best teams? They have as good NHL players as there is in this tournament.
The highest drafted player. Hischier's the only first overall pick of this tournament.
I mean, you'd say Mikko Rantanen is the best NHLer in this tournament.
Yes.
Then probably William Nylander if he gets here. And then it's Hischier and Fiala after that. I mean, that's where you'd go with it.
Ocular straightened up by Fora. Geiser back with it. Drops it up to Berchi. Fora. Reds on ahead. To Fabrice Herzog. From down to the Slovak zone. Herzog goes after Janešek. Picked out by Tanner Richard. Back he goes to Fora. Winds and shoots. That was blocked by Chaho. Back is Geiser with it. Shoots. That goes wide. And Richard picks it back up. That floats wide. Kukai. In for Herzog. Nemitz. Got bumped there. Janešek. Rolled over by Richard. And Chaho sends that by Siegenthaler. That'll be icing against Slovakia.
Chaho had a decision to make there. He probably could have skated that out a little bit further, but he had enough banging around his own end and also stinging from this shot block. Fora leans in on it. Here comes Chaho. Get down. 3 guys trying to get a hold of it. Banging off his knee. And he's sledded down by the boards. Got to be ready from both sides. And Switzerland is on the forecheck.
Nemitz lifts up to center ice. Siegenthaler back around to Kukai. Hischier slides that in. Janešek took that away. Malgin with it. Tired Slovaks on the ice now. Fiala plays that back. Siegenthaler holds the line. In for Malgin. Malgin back for Kukai. For Fiala has time. Shoots off the outside of the goal. Hischier on his pocket pick. Janešek bangs it off the boards. Chaho with it. Lifts that down, but not deep enough. Fiala comes back the other way, but the play's offside. Slovakia catches a break there and can finally make a change.
Fiala didn't realize Hischier was behind the net picking up his stick, so he was late getting out. Fiala gets a little nudge there by Janešek for allowing the puck to roll in on the goaltender. And Hischier, he's good to see him huffing and puffing a little bit, to know that he's human. Because what Fiala did the first 30 minutes of last game was exquisite.
He was off a plane and just flying, so to speak. That pass by Koch misfires. Icing called against the Slovaks. 1-0 Denmark beating Germany in the second period there in an important game in Group A. Likely to decide 4th spot in that group.
Germany's in tough because they played Sweden, Finland, and U.S.
Right.
So it doesn't look, they have no points. It looked like having a terrible tournament. But they played them tight all 3 games. Right. But this is the game they have to have before they get some lighter opponents.
Grivic plays that across to Kanashko. Looking for Hudacek, who's been a stone in the opposition shoe the whole tournament so far. Kanashko for Hudacek, shoots from a sharp angle. And Meyer knocks that away. Falls, and away comes Ambuel with Niederreiter. Ambuel walks right in for Niederreiter, scores! Switzerland takes advantage of a Slovak slip.
The old man still got the good hands as the coach just overskates this one. Ambuel picks it up, and he never looks at Niederreiter. Watch Ambuel's eyes. He is staring at the goal. He doesn't look at him one time, which not only throws the goaltender off, but the defender as well. As that's Richard Panik. Talk about tough spots. That's his forward trying to play defense with Ambuel and Niederreiter coming down with full speed. Not to mention a little misdirection from the vision of Andreas Ambuel, and it's 2-0 Switzerland.
There's a 4-game goal-scoring streak for Nino Niederreiter. He's scored in every game for Switzerland so far.
He lost the shuffle of all the other NHLers showing up. He's pretty darn good as well.
The captain of the Swiss team. Posted his 7th 20-goal year in the NHL this year between Nashville and Winnipeg. Now Kelman drops it back. They score! Andre Kaderna just arrived for Slovakia. There's a huge goal just seconds after Switzerland took a 2-0 lead.
Well, that's a first for the tournament for Kaderna and for Switzerland allowing a goal against. Similar kind of play. Lawful has the puck bang off the referee and a quick development 2-on-1. Marty gets no angle. And Kaderna available. Meyer can't get across. Easy 2-on-1 finish as all the angles were off for Switzerland in that defensive sequence. And Slovakia right back in the ball game.
So the shutout streak ends for the Swiss, just shy of the 3rd longest in modern day history. Goals 21 seconds apart. And a big one for the Slovaks for so many reasons. First, to prove that someone can score against the Swiss, but more importantly, make it a 1-goal game again. Here's Regenda with it. Regenda falls, more on it. And now these Slovak fans are energized. Flora goes down. And now Flora back with it. Back to center ice for Malgin. Gets in behind Mihaly Van. Malgin plays that in, scooped up by Ocular.
The bubble has burst. Now we'll see if it's a dam. Maybe Slovakia will be emboldened by finally getting a goal on Switzerland.
What they've not yet had is a power play. Now Grivic centers it. Goes off a skate. Hudacek back with it. In the corner for Grivic. Panik comes in to help out as well. Panik spins back in the corner. 7 gone here in the 2nd period. Hudacek shields off Siegenthaler. Throws it back in front. Couldn't find Panik with that pass. And he sure banks it out. Yanushek. Rink wide pass. That's offside at the Swiss blue line. Switzerland the lead on Slovakia. Another close one here in Riga. We've had our share of tight games. Earlier today, Slovenia took a 2-0 lead on Czechia, had a 2-1 lead after 2 before the roof fell in the third. Slovakia's played 3 consecutive one-goal games, losses to Czechia, the shootout to Canada, the 2-1 win over Latvia. And that win over Latvia looms large for them right now. That's
huge.
Their easiest games are ahead. After this, they've got Kazakhstan, Slovenia, and Norway. So a late preliminary round run to put them back in the quarters. That plays offside at the Slovak line. Oh, a little late bop there by Kellerman on Niederreiter.
I like it. A little juice in this game. A little dislike. I think in some ways Slovakia plays better when it gets chippy. This is not Switzerland's game per se, but Niederreiter gets up, wants to Nemes. I think Nemes knocked Niederreiter sticking to his own face. He's all right. But I was watching earlier, Hudacek gave Malgin a little shot after the whistle. I think Slovakia thrives on that sort of stuff.
They've always felt underappreciated. In the famous story from the 02 Olympics in Salt Lake City as Corby works in. Corby winds that back. Niederreiter thumped there by Sukol. Corby shoots, it bounces around in front. Here's Moser, drops it back to Glauser. Niederreiter after it, gave Nemitz a hard run there. Nemitz didn't like that much as a word to the official. Niederreiter back with it. Back to Moser, across he goes for Loeffel. Enzo Corby to Loeffel. Shoots, it's kicked away by Levi. In 02, NHL players were allowed to participate. There was a qualification tournament held before the Olympics.
Yeah.
And the IIHF ruled that they couldn't use their NHL players in that tournament, even though they were there. They sat in the stands and watched it. Slovakia didn't qualify for the Olympics. Peter Stasny, their GM, was livid.
Understandably.
A few months later, they won the World Championship for the first and only time in their history.
I mean, that era of players were as good as they were world contenders.
That was the golden age of Slovak players. And you know, they're turning out lots of good young players now, but that was the Pavel Dimitra, Peter Bondra, Marian Hossa era of Slovak players.
Chara was in there, Zygmunt Palfi, Pavel Dimitra, as you mentioned. They were stacked. They had a whole bunch, Josef Stumpel. They had a whole bunch of good players.
They had that Slovak pack in St. Louis.
Yes.
Vladislav Nagy.
Michael Handzus. I played with 4 of them in Phoenix, 4 Slovaks.
Off the draw, here's Romiak. And of course, the Slovaks have the bitter rivalry with their Czech neighbors. Romiak chips that in. Now Out the side of the goal. Rivik chips that towards the net. Malgin drops it back down. Shots are 7-2 in the period, 17-8 overall in favor of Switzerland, but it's a 2-1 game. Malgin. Knocked away by Regenda. And Fiala spins back.
Better job in the neutral zone this period by Slovakia, even though they've given up some shots. Not as much speed coming at them from Switzerland.
Now Regenda winds in. Slovaks in the middle of a change here. Tamashi drops it back. Luther taken down there by Miranda. That'll be a penalty. A hooking call against the Swiss. And Slovakia gets its first power play of the game.
One step at a time, find a way to score a goal, get it within one. Draw a power play as Miranda gets his stick up under Luther. He's made an impact in his first game. We got Kadurna who scored a goal. Luther's been effective. He's drawn a penalty. 2 new insertions into the Slovakian lineup.
So Miranda, you wonder if they told him as he went to the penalty box he has the right to remain silent. If you watch,
it was going to get in there at some point. Yes.
It's sitting on that one.
They read him his rights on the way in.
You watch a lot of American cop shows, Miranda warnings. So Slovakia, which is 2 for 10 in the power play, really felt like they had their chances against Canada. They went 1 for 7 in the game. Tons of power play chances in the third, couldn't connect. Berchi knocks it down. Held at the line. No, not by Nemitz. Couldn't quite hold that. Here's Rivik, the captain, back with it. Played for the Rangers in Calgary back in the day. And here is Nemitz. Simon Nemitz leads the rush. Panik drops that back to Rivik. Up ahead for Hudacek. Kemelin. Back for Rivik. Crossing goes to Nemitz. Simon Nemitz, the 19-year-old quarterback of this power play. Kellerman banks that back to Rivik. Rivik works it back. That's picked off by Tanner Richard and set down the ice. Levi way out to play it. Quick up to Swiss is changing. Panic. Plays it across for Sukol. That's knocked away by Markey.
Another attempted no-looker. Panik tried to sell a dump in and then zipped it across looking for a pass.
Ocular winds his way out. 40 seconds to go in the Slovak power play. Ocular in across the line on Markey. Ocular back to Romiak. To Ocular. Regenda parked in front. Sukol. Ocular. Regenda. Ocular walks in. Elects not to shoot. Kanashko. Back to Ocular. Kanashko. Long wrist shot goes off Fora. Batted down to the side of the goal, picked up by Sukol. 10 seconds to go on the power play. Kanashko. Back across. Romiak a drive that goes wide. Sukol. Works it back from Ocular. Sukol shoots. Tipped wide by Regenda. Rebound. Romiak shot is blocked. Miranda steps out, waits for it at the blue line. And Kanashko swings back and takes that away from him. Regenda has his pass knocked down by Herzog. Fora. Over the head of Malgin. Levi knocks that down. Goido steps back. Ishier has the pass picked up by Tamashi. Kanashko lifts that back down to the Swiss zone. 7:45 to go in the period. Chipped ahead. Here comes Malgin all alone. Dennis Malgin stopped by Levi. And Alivan plays that back out. Levi goes nose to nose. One of the most dangerous scorers in the tournament.
A slick pass by Hischier. Backhand chip.
Here comes Ambuel now. Streaking in on Ivan. Ambuel, a backhand shot and rolled off his stick. Luther back with it. Lifted in, but over the glass, and the faceoff will come outside. 7:15 to go in the second period. Switzerland leads Slovakia 2-1. Switzerland trying to run his record of 4-0 in this World Championship. Has a lot of goal for the first time in the tournament. The shutout streak ends at just over 200 minutes. Slovaks lost in the quarterfinals last year for the second straight year. Beaten by Finland. Rosendic. Up for Panik. Chip back down to the Swiss over. Glauser picks it up. Niederreiter goes after Koch. Brings that around for Panik. Richard Panik. That's bumped in by Corby. The play's offside at the Slovak line.
Dennis Malgin turned aside on his last shot on a breakaway. Quick up, look at the chip there by Hischier. Sends it right in front of him. He tries to sell a 5-hole, but Levi goes paddle down. You don't see this all the time, but it's down early. And it's tough to slide that one 5-hole when it's being taken away by the stick. Good read by Levi to keep it a 1-goal game.
Janicic plays that back out. Here's Nemitz with it. And the puck bounces into the Swiss bench.
I don't know if anyone's watching. At the end of warm-up in Europe, the players take breakaways on the goaltenders.
Yeah.
It's unusual, doesn't usually happen in North America. And that move he went to is a move he likes to fiddle with in warm-up often. I've seen him this is his 4th game. I've seen him do it 4 times in warm-up. And you just wonder if somewhere there's a scouting report on tendencies, because he goes to that cheeky little 5-hole backhand often.
Henrik Lundqvist with the Rangers did that in the warm-up.
He was a European-trained goaltender.
Yeah.
He's one of the few guys who would like to take shootouts.
Miranda drops it off to Hasel. Backhand shot. Levi the save. The puck still loose, and Levi finally pounces on it. With Miranda in dangerously.
Well, Levi's doing his job.
Yeah.
Another good save here. Switzerland does so well. They skate off the puck. Come at you in waves. Haas lays one. Another tries to take it all the way across. Backhand. Levi gets across. Dives out into the pile to make sure that he gets the rebound. Paddle down again. He went paddle down there again. Cat and mouse. Switzerland's on with 5-hole. Goes paddle down. If you're Switzerland, paddle down, he's right over his shoulder. When he drops that right shoulder because his hand's in his right, the stick's in his right hand, right under the bar.
Shots are 9-2 Switzerland here in the second period.
Goals are 1-1.
Berchi plays that back to Geiser. That's the Swiss fans singing. Here's Fora. Back for Herzog. He's lost his stick now. Yashko picks up the loose puck. Flips up the center ice. Romiak couldn't reach it. Richard chips it down to the Slovak zone. Berchi goes after it. That discarded stick getting in the way.
It's very nice for the scrum to be right on top of his stick to pick it up. Worked out well.
Kukat swings it across. Siegenthaler shoots. His stick broke. And Levi to be careful with that off-speed shot. Now Mihaly Van has it back. Van gains the blue line, flips it across. Again to Ian, can't get a shot away. And Romiak skated by the rebound. Dangerous chance there for Slovakia. Malgin drops it off to Hischier. And Rivik stayed with him, and now Malgin comes back and takes the puck away. Inside 5 to go in the second. Hischier got it by Koch. Hischier drops it back, and a hard shot by Fiala, steered away by Levi. Another broken stick in the way, this time Siegenthaler's. Hudacek up for Koch, the defenseman jumping in. And Glauser angles him off the puck. Hischier to center ice, chipped in by Malgin. Gaidos leaves it there for Sukol. Not to Sukol. Fires that down. Panik goes after it. Collides hard with Marty. Now work free for Hudacek. Marty steps into him as well. Ambul in there digging as well. Chip back down the Slovak zone. Gaidos back to pick it up, being shouted by Ambul. Kuderna for Kellerman, that's picked up by Lawful. And he goes for Simeon, but the play's offside. At the Slovak line, 2-1, Switzerland leads, 3:43 to go in the second. The battle of the bands here today, the Slovaks versus the Swiss.
I'll be hearing that song in my sleep.
They don't just sing it here.
Nope.
In the old town, in the park near our hotel.
It's at the hotel is where you, outside my window in the hotel across the park.
Nemitz banks it back around Chahal. Sealed there by Fora. It's a lead, but not a comfortable one for the Swiss.
Well, Patrick Fisher said before the game, he knew it wouldn't always be as easy and clean as it was the first 3 games.
They beat Norway 3-0. That was a 2-0 game in the third, and the Norwegians had some chances.
It felt under control.
Yeah. Chahal up for Nemetz. That missed. Icing called against the Slovaks.
Now this game also feels fairly under control. Shots are 21-8. In favor of Switzerland, but they haven't had the volume of good looks that they've had in games prior. And even though they have all their big guys here now, it's been a energetic defensive effort by Slovakia to try to keep them to the outside. Everybody's kicked out. Nobody's left to take a face off.
Fischer against Chahal, who is Slovakia's best face-off man. He wins that draw back for Janacek. Nemitz. Off the glass is center ice, rolling puck, knocked over by Siegenthaler right to Hischier. And Hischier comes in, and they call Fiala offside. Doesn't like that very much.
You know what? That's on Hischier. He had room to get it across the blue line and allow everyone to go. He just was a little bit late in pulling it into the white of the offensive zone. And Fiala did, in fact, jump. That's a good call. Even though they're all great players, it still takes maybe a period or two, maybe a game or two to get completely in sync.
Koch pumps it down in the Swiss zone. Kuderna. Chip that in now. Kellerman trying to work it deep. Malgin bumps into him. Fiala turns it over. Kaderna works in, and a penalty coming out of the Swiss. It's going to be Kuka who goes off. And so Slovakia gets a late power play here in the second.
Fiala going after Cork. A late run to Mulligan. And Fiala does have a little edge to his game. He is not shy about stirring it up at all. Talking to the Slovak bench as he goes to his own. It's going to be Marty. No, Kukan.
Slashing call, so Slovakia back on the power play here. The second time in the game.
Broken play. There's the slash over top of the stick. And there's the little bump. Almost nothing to it after Mulligan had touched the puck, the whistle had gone, but enough to get Fiala's attention. Here we go, late in the period. Real opportunity for Slovakia.
Cehlarik have the two power play goals for the Slovaks. Cehlarek's not in the lineup today. In comes Berchi, shorthanded, shoots, he fired that wide. Slovaks give a shorthanded goal in a crucial situation to Czechia in the opener. They were ahead 2-1 at that point. The Czechs tied it shorthanded and won the game on a power play goal. Here is Hudacek with it. Ahead for Kellerman. Flips that back for Hudacek. That's poked away by Meyer. Kellerman sends that back. It's picked up by Simeon. Short-handed breakaway. Simeon works in. He got poked checked. Is that going to be a penalty shot? It is. Dario Simeon on the short-handed breakaway.
Did Potter just get kicked out of the game?
I wonder if he did. Or if he's just being sent away, but the official made a very demonstrative gesture towards him.
It's Christopher Holm. So it just called the penalty shot. Nemes tries to keep it alive, slows it down just enough for Simeon to take off. And Kotick knows he's going to get him here, so he's trying to decide when do I lift. And it would have worked if he didn't get into the hands. As he tried to lift the stick, he got the hands. Penalty shot. Fiala taking it, doesn't have to be Simeon.
It could be anyone to take it, and they choose Kevin Fiala. Chance gives Switzerland a 3-1 lead with what would be a short-handed goal. In comes Fiala, stopped by Levi, and he fist pumps as he makes that stop.
On a swing that could have been for Switzerland, going up 2 now. Slovakia, courtesy of Levi, still within 1. Oh, he's right on it. Not a lot there to shoot at. Kevin Fiala loads up the backhand. Levi doesn't bite and is all over the forehand attempt. Big save.
And that section divided. On the right-hand side, the Slovaks celebrate. On the left-hand side, the Swiss disconsolate. 1:34 to go in the period. 1:11 to go in a Slovak power play. Face-off won by Richard. He is Switzerland's best.
I often looked at the face-off going dead and not exactly sure why. That one he jumped to the stick. That one was clear. It was so early that it was obvious.
Gets a warning there.
So now you're never going to reach hard in an offensive zone short-handed situation after a warning. You should lose it every time.
Romiak up for Suko. Suko gains center ice, plays that for Regenda. Back in for Suko. Ashko waiting for it. The puck went over the glass. The Slovaks are arguing straight out.
They're going to get together.
They're going to tussle on this. I thought it went off the glass.
I thought it sounded like it was rolling along the stanchions. And they make the call that it did, in fact, hit the glass before getting into the mesh. I don't know if the guys in the ice even saw anything. They just like to, anytime the puck goes in the mesh,
put their arm up. Hey!
Everyone yells and makes noise. Every time there's a line change and the puck goes through the bench, it's too many men. It's just instinctive.
Now Suko once again for Richard for the face-off. And Richard won that cleanly. Face-offs aren't everything, but in that situation...
Yeah, short-handed they sure can be, or power play for that matter.
Kanashko for Romiak. 45 seconds to go in the Slovak power play. Okular. Up there by Bergi. Final minute now in the second period. Slovaks looking for the equalizer. And the Swiss quite happy to muddy the waters there. Now pulled up for Kanashko. Kanashko shoots at the fucking wide. Romiak knocked out by Fora at the line. Kanashko holds that. Okular shoots, rebound, Regenda scores! And Regenda taunts Richard after scoring.
So what? You're allowed to yell at the opponent. Doesn't mean it's sporting. Doesn't make it illegal. You want to run at me after I score? Guess you're going to hear about it. Tie game, brother. Absolutely, Regenda right in the crease. Taps it home. Switzerland gets caught on the press twice. 3 guys on the boards. They kind of recover this point shot, and then they get 3 more guys caught on the other side of the ice. And a quick pass. With Okular all alone. Regenda there to clean up the mess. And just like that, Switzerland.
Now, Slovakia's getting a penalty here.
Oh, Nacho's going to get it unsportsmanlike. I don't like it at all. I think.
Hang on. Oh, he did touch it with a stick in the last thing. He kicked that.
Yeah, no, he got it with a stick. He's good. Never. So Richard takes a run at Regenda after he scores, and he falls. So absolutely, Richard should hear it. Don't act like it's accidental.
Now Kanashko came in.
Who cares? But
he gets the penalty.
Why, when can I not yell at the opponent? He took a run at your guy after the whistle. You want to celebrate in his ear? Celebrate in his ear. It's like going by the bench. Yes, it's completely unsportsmanlike, but I don't know if that makes it illegal. Not to me.
Number 22 for unsportsmanlike.
You know what? Problem with that, though, anytime someone says something to the other bench, though,
right,
does that make it unsportsmanlike?
You didn't touch him.
No.
You didn't?
No physical contact. Anytime I've seen Kevin Fiala come and run and say something in someone's ear, no penalty. Like, I guess, you know, it was obvious, it was extreme, but who cares? No harm, no foul to me. That's too bad because they just tied the game up. Now they got to kill a penalty.
So they put 2 by Switzerland here in the second period. Switzerland, by the way, set a national record with a 205 shutout streak. Previous record 200 minutes. They started the 1939 World Championship with 4 straight shutouts, but the periods were only 15 minutes long back then. Niederreiter works into the Swiss power play. That's knocked away.
Why is that icing?
Swiss don't like that call. Fiala's arguing.
They're right. David Knopfberger acknowledged that he made a mistake. And they're going to put it, unless they're calling it offside. And see, I don't like this though. Now the referee's talking to Kevin Fiala, calm down, don't yell at people. You just gave a guy a penalty for what I'm going to give you the stern talking to not do what I just called on someone else. It's enough to get me fired up here, Gord.
You're fired up. You might get a sportsmanlike up here.
Listen, try me.
Time winding down here in the second. Malgin winds his way, and that's knocked away by Koch. That'll do it for the second period. And Slovakia giving the Swiss all they can handle. It's a 2-2 game. The Swiss have a minute and 30 seconds of power play time to carry over into the third period.
Ako môžem vodu studenú z hladničky, prosím?
Oči, sorry. Pičovina odo mňa.
Dobrá robota, sú nervózni, to je ono, borci, to je ono, kurva. Toto sme chceli do piči.
Bránime, jak si to píš,
Vyučil jeho a potom máš hráža.
No,
On má normálne kolo a potom máš to. Dobre, jenom dekajíme. Hej. Pekne sám.
Here we go, boys. Another good period. White down and set. White. On the hand. Get out of here! Get out of here! We're done! Get out of here! Hey, leave it! Okay. 22. He's going! Hey, get him! Go! Unsportsmanlike! Hey! 22's going for 2 minutes.
Okay, wir haben Füße. Chance zu Füße, wie es so hat. Komm nicht gut, machen wir sie, ja? Schub mir rein, schub mir rein. Let's go, halt, ja.
Pavel again to the tying goal. The Anaheim Duck, who had his first year in North America after being signed as a free agent. A huge goal for Slovakia, but now they'll be shorthanded for another 90 seconds. The unsportsmanlike conduct penalty assessed to Slovakia's Samuel Kanashko after Regenda scored. And Kanashko is still talking about it with the officials.
You see Sean McFarland over at both benches, the referee for the U.S., having a chat with both coaches, trying to settle down the chatter, I suppose, as it was getting pretty hot at the end of the period.
Samuel Levi does his job. He's allowed 2 goals, but he stopped a penalty shot. The shots in that period were 13-4 for Switzerland.
And that penalty shot power play goal swing went the other way back in favor of Slovakia. It's got them tied up in the game.
Switzerland 3-0, Slovakia 1-2. Malgin. Rink wide to Fiala. Slovaks would love to grab some points out of this game.
They'd be in a pretty good spot if they were able to maybe even get third in the group.
Niederreiter throws that towards the goal. Bank back around Malgin. Fresh ice on this power play. Fiala with it. Back to Kukan. To Fiala. That one off a shin pad. Blocked there by Fedorda. Malgin to Hischier. Malgin back to Kukan. Fiala slips that down to Hischier, takes the return pass, throws that down to Hischier. Niederreiter parked in front. Hischier back for Kukan. 40 seconds to go on the power play. Hischier to Fiala with a shot, ticks off the post, up and out.
Lots of movement for Switzerland, but Slovakia able to stay organized, keeping them on the outside, nothing going through the seams. Ends up with Fiala trying to walk on the goal line, and I think he just sails that one, nothing really there. Levi, who is 6'4".
Yeah, he
covers a lot of net.
He's 21 years old.
I keep looking, did I not write down who's drafted him? How come I don't have anyone who's drafted him?
Yep, unpicked. That's fired back down the ice by the Slovaks. 30 seconds to go in this Swiss power play. Jaho comes in, forces that free to Lunter. And Lunter brings it back in deep. Kukan up for Niederreiter. Nino Niederreiter. On Guido, drops that back to Kukan. Cross it goes to Hischier. Hischier centers it. Niederreiter chipped that towards the goal, but it's kicked away. Final second now, the Swiss power play. Niederreiter for Malgin. Dennis Malgin. Moves that back to Kukan as Kanashko steps back on. Malgin feeds it back. Kukan fans on that. And now brought away by Janusik, up for Konashko, once off the ice and chops it down. Two the score here. Germany leads Denmark 3-2 in Tampere, Finland. Nemitz plays it out for Hudacek. In comes Hudacek, holds, shoots, put that wide. Glauser. Squeezed that by Hudacek, now picked up by Panik. Vivek for Nemitz. Shoots, that's blocked. Picked up by Hudacek. Tries to center it. Panik plays that back, but the pass out of the reach of Rosendic. Rosendic for Nemitz. Along with the likes of Slavkasi and Meshar will form the core of Slovak national teams going forward. Kamashi gets a stick on that. It bounces back in front and moved down the ice by Lawful. That'll be an icing call against the Smiths.
Slovakia has battled their way back into this game. And it started with Kaderna, fresh in the lineup, finally breaks the goose egg for Switzerland all-tournament long. A penalty shot stopped. And then a goal by Riga on the ensuing power play. And 2-2 heading into the third. Slovakia full of life in the second half of the second period.
And in the second period, Switzerland had not allowed a goal in the tournament. Here's Marti with it. Off the glass and back down the ice. And this faceoff's coming right back where it started.
And a power play which had let Slovakia down, especially against Canada, comes up big to tie the game when they needed it. Again, they had a big tournament, led Slovakia in goals last year's World Championship. That to his total, played his first year over in San Diego. Got a couple games in Anaheim, 14. But scored a 25-goal pace in San Diego for his 50 games there, 13 goals.
Signed as a free agent last summer, and that shot whistled wide by Kaderna. Konashko throws that in. Now Sukel goes after Marty, tries to work that free. Picked up by Kellerman. Knocked down by Marty. And now Miranda goes rink wide for Simeon. Mario Simeon comes in, pivots back. That pass is picked off. Suko up ahead for Kaderna. Long shot, drifts high, and Simeon has it back. And careful to play that was Ivan, as Konashko wasn't quite off the ice yet, but he waited. Richard got bottled up there by Hromiak. And now Siegenthaler the other way. Jonas Siegenthaler, who opened the scoring in this game in his first game of this World Championship. Played it back, Gaidos held it and fired it wide. Siegenthaler up ahead for Herzog. Herzog chips that back down to the Slovak zone. In the corner is Berchi. Back for Herzog, hit the referee with that pass. Berchi trying to fire it back in front, gets it right back. Gaidos gives him a couple of bumps. And now Hischier slides his way through the offensive zone. Still with it, playing keep away. Hischier again slides that back. Here's Moser with it. Hischier centers it. Fiala couldn't get a stick on that. And Regenda has it back for Slovakia. Moves away from Fiala. Glauser up for Fiala. The puck was in his feet. He slides that back to Glauser. Moser up for Hischier. Swiss break in, 3 wide. Malgin for the trailer. Fiala shoots. The ball got a piece of it. Wasn't sure what it was. Now a race for it. Rivik in on Marty. And Marty erases him off the puck. Swiss break it back. Fiala along with Corvi. And Malgin jumping in. Fiala the drop pass. That's broken up by Janusik. Well, end-to-end to go here in the third period. Nemitz works in. Simon Nemitz centers it. Loose puck in front. Rivik with a chance. Rebound. Taps it wide of the goal. Still on it. The puck is down and finally frozen by Meyer. What a chance there for Slovakia.
Trading odd man rushes, surprising in a 2-2 game in the third period, but Rivik jumps on this loose puck. Tries to take a backhand, forehand. Oh, good save by Meyer, and reach with the glove. And Ambiel battling to seal him off as Meyer does everything he can. The strength in the arm, the shoulder to hold that post. Oh, when it gets shoveled into his chest, could have easily hit his helmet and rolled in, but did not. There's Fiala, and after Plonic a little bit. NHL rivalries renewed.
Yes. Face off, won by Chaho. Back for Nemitz, spins and shoots. That's tipped wide by Ocular. Siegenthaler for Niederreiter. Up ahead for Ambiel. Plays that back down to the Slovak zone. Janešek goes back. Nemitz in there as well. It's picked off by Niederreiter. Back for Siegenthaler. Cross he goes to Kukan. To Siegenthaler. Shoots! Tipped wide by Ambiel. Chaho. Plays it back around for Nemitz. And Nemitz lifts it back to center ice. Siegenthaler back to pick it up. Here's Jonas Siegenthaler. Back around for Kukan. Now brought in, Simeon with a chance. Centers it, Haas with a chance. By down, the puck still loose. Picked up by Miranda, the net's way off.
That was very convenient.
Now the Swiss are wondering if that was pushed off intentionally.
It wasn't accidental.
13:38 to go in the third. A 2-2 tie between Switzerland and Slovakia. Thursday night in Riga, Latvia, coming up on 10:30 local time. Day 7 of the 2023 World Hockey Championship. Switzerland and Slovakia locked in a tight one.
Got play music the whole game? Oh, I like it. It's like a basketball game broke out.
There's Miranda with it. For Simeon. Dario Simeon plays that back. Allows her long shot. Levi makes the stop and quickly corrals the rebound.
Fighting through traffic. He's had a lot of traffic around.
Wow.
Switzerland trying to get to the front of the net.
Slovakia has played in 3 one-goal games to open the tournament. A 3-2 loss to Czechia, a 2-1 win over Latvia, and a 2-1 shootout loss to Canada.
Craig Ramsey had been lamenting some of the lack of offense, but getting 2 against Switzerland is about as much as you can expect, given that they had shut out their first 3 opponents.
Kanashko. That goes off the stick of Berchi, up and out. It was 30 years ago that the Czechs and Slovaks split, the so-called Velvet Divorce. At the World Junior Championship that year, the Czechs and Slovaks went to sleep on New Year's Eve as teammates and woke up the next day as citizens of different countries.
But they finished the tournament,
together. The Czechs and Slovaks. That shot, score! Marty from the point. It's tipped home by Richard. And it's 3-2 Switzerland.
Well, I call for a high stick right away.
The Slovaks are asking for a review, and the official says right away they're going to look at this. Right away, the referee made the square signal as they're going to look at a review on this.
Another one draw by Richard. No, I think that's off Yvonne.
Yeah, that's not even.
Yeah, look at Yvonne's body language. It hits 29 right in front, up by the hands.
Yep. Never touched. That's Marty's goal.
Well, this will take 6 seconds. Show him that last look, please. Get on with the game. Because Marty's going to be credited with the goal.
And that'll be Marty's first career goal for the Swiss national team at the World Championship. Playing in the tournament for the 4th time for them.
It should be all smiles. The guys in front of the net would tell him. Richard's like, it wasn't me. This is the only look you need to see. Richard wasn't there. No interference, no high stick. This one makes it crystal clear. As though he's trying to tip it in himself. Switzerland will regain the lead, 3-2. And not to be lost on this play, the pressure by Berchi off the previous lost faceoff forced Konachko to put it into the mesh, even though it hit Berchi's stick. That allowed for the offensive zone faceoff, which resulted in the goal.
And Richard's a very good faceoff guy. Best in the tournament coming in.
So Berchi won't pick up a point, but he'll get the recognition.
Yeah.
His good work caused the whistle. And Marty gets his first.
Played in Blainville in the Quebec League for a couple of years. Played 1 year in the American League for Lehigh Valley, the farm club of the Philadelphia Flyers. And here's the call from referee Christopher Holm.
Never really in doubt, nothing really to complain about. Switzerland back in front. That's a good smile. It's a long time for Marty, 29 years old.
Scored just once in the regular season for Zurich in the Swiss League.
He is not here for his offense. He gets in the way, he checks hard, he kills penalties, plays physically, but not to score goals. But he's got the go-ahead goal here.
Well, the Swiss have the lead again. 13 to go in the 3rd period. Tamashi pokes it back down the Slovak zone. Switzerland's next game against Canada on Saturday. Canada with a couple of days off prior to that game. Isher winds in, along with Malgin and Fiala. Malgin in, shoots, that's blocked by Nemitz. Picked up by Fiala. Plays it back down to Hischier. Hischier centers it. Malgin couldn't get a stick on that. And Nemitz has it back for Slovakia. Kuka. That's knocked away. Siegenthaler in for Corby. And Fiala drops that back to Siegenthaler. Wrists it across. Fiala walks in and fires. Laval got a piece of that. Nemitz. On the boards, Malgin picks it up for Niederreiter. Niederreiter works it and shoots, and Levi got a piece of that as well. It bounces back to center ice. Corby throws that down to the Slovak zone. Slovakia with 1 point so far in the tournament, thanks to the shootout loss to Canada. That shot whistled wide by Glauser. The games remaining against Kazakhstan, Slovenia, and Norway. Probably have to run the table to make the quarters. And even that might not be enough. Now the win over Latvia. They've got 4 points.
They run the table 13, they should be fine.
Most years that'll get you in.
Should be.
There's been a couple it hasn't, but usually if it doesn't, it means there's usually 2 really bad teams at the bottom. If they get 1 win between them. Nemitz has that knocked away, gathers it back up, fires it down. Icing called against Slovakia.
Nemitz out of gas, just kind of lost his head there for a minute, had a half second, maybe could have gone to the high flip, but you see him struggling, huffing and puffing. And it's a tired group out there. Nico Hischier can win the face-off. Opportunity to go to work.
Malgin spins it back down. Here's Kukan. Back for Fiala. Fiala throws that towards the goal.
Nemitz can barely move out there.
Turns over to Siegenthaler.
Can't make a play. He's too tired.
This is usually a goal against or a penalty. Kukan to Malgin. Siegenthaler. Back for Malgin. Shoots. Levi makes the stop and knocked his mask off.
That was a quick flick from Levi to get the whistle. And they're working it around. They finally get the puck over to Malgin for the one-timer. Does this catch him in the mask? It must.
No, hit him in the chest and he kind of nodded to get his mask off.
I don't think the straps happen to pop. Oh no, the right one was off.
Yeah,
the right one had come off, so fair enough.
Levi was not picked in the 2019 draft. 22 goalies were selected in that draft. Spencer Knight was the first one picked, went to Florida, 13th overall. The final goalie picked, the 22nd was picked. Fourth last pick of the draft, Dustin Wolf.
Oh my goodness,
Calgary.
what a run. He's had 2 MVP of the American League.
Yeah, top goalie 2 years in a row in that league.
He is ready to no longer be in that league.
Yes.
Well, that's good value. Late.
Off the draw. Picked up now by Glauser. Works it on Guidos. Midway point of the third period, a 3-2 lead for Switzerland. Shots in the period are 8-3 in favor of the Swiss, 31-13 overall. So they're blowing them out 3-2.
Seen a few games like that this week.
Panik plays that back. Here's Rosendich. Up for Hudacek. Hudacek gets his own pass back, winds right in. Can get a shot away as taken away by Richard. Berchi back with it. Throws that rink wide and a skate in front now. Marty plays it ahead for Herzog. All of a sudden, Marty thinks he's an offensive defenseman, jumps into the rush.
He likes that feeling. First time he's had it wearing a Swiss jersey.
Marty fires it back into the Slovak zone. Kanashko off the boards, knocked down by Corby. And brought up by Chaho. Along with Ocular. That pass broken up by Marty. And Corby has it back for Niederreiter. Niederreiter works in and shoots. Levi kicks that away.
Oh, Niederreiter chucking. Poke into the net after the shot.
Ocular knocks it back to center ice. Siegenthaler feeds it back across to Kukan. He was a free agent signed by Columbus in 2015, spent 7 years in the organization. That's stolen by Ocular. Back across to Chaho. Chaho shoots, it's gloved by Meyer. And he'll hang on to that. 3-2 Switzerland, 8:23 to go in the third period. Face off of the Swiss zone. The Slovaks have Nemitz back out there again. 19-year-old has been playing a lot of minutes since he got here. He's played in 2 World Juniors, 3 World Championships, and Olympics. He's 19. Nemitz fires. He put that wide.
He's got the international resume covered.
Yes.
And he's picked up an Olympic medal.
Here's Moser with it. Back down to the Slovak zone. Nemec trails back. And icing called against the Swiss. Pushing and shoving breaks out at the end of that play. Nemec, by the way, eligible for next year's World Juniors. He won't be there.
I don't think he'll be there. He'll be locked right into New Jersey. We've got a really good team. Getting a good close-up view of a couple of his future teammates in Siegenthaler and Kiescher in tonight's game.
Face off right back down to the Swiss zone. Richard out against to take the face off against Sukol. Both guys were way illegal there. Neither of them had their feet in the brackets even close.
The brackets are now just a guideline.
Yeah, that's.
It used to be you had to keep your feet in. Now it's just, you start there, don't worry about where you finish.
Slovaks chanting, "We want a goal." Sukol chips that down. Did he? No, didn't reach it. And icing call against Slovakia.
Gotta have that pass on the tape. Allow him to handle it, not have to just reach and poke it for an icing. It's been a tight game, still a tight game. Slovakia hasn't had many looks at all in the third period. Still just one shot away.
Malgin works his way in. Malgin walks right in, tried to wrap it around. Levi down. Loeffel in for Fiala. Back to Loeffel. Shoots. That's off the skate of Hiescher and wide. Fiala. Back for Loeffel. Shoots. That goes wide. Just throws that up to center ice.
That was very close to closing his hand on the puck.
Yeah. Traveling.
Tell Jason Tatum that.
Race for it. Janusik goes back and Niederreiter beats him to the puck. He falls. Moves to the side of the goal. Levi punches that away. Niederreiter taken down in front by Rosendich. Gudacek spins away from Niederreiter. 6.5 to go in the third period. Gudacek up for Rivik. Siegenthaler takes that away. Corby bumped there by Rosendich. Corby. There's Simeon to Niederreiter. And on Kanashko, Niederreiter backhand shot. Levi the save hangs on to that. Niederreiter's infuriated with the official, who gives it right back to him.
Niederreiter wants a hold. He had the defender on his back. Tries to stretch it out here. Angled off by Kanashko, but that's pretty well played by Kanashko. I think he wants the first right hand around his hip on the reach, but no. He's got a forearm in his back, not really grabbing anything. Good job playing defense. Niederreiter. Oh, wait, well, that one is another. That's another conversation altogether. He's tripped up by Janusik.
Germany, by the way, a 4-3 lead on Denmark late in the third period there.
Denmark tied it up. Germany scored 20 seconds later to regain the lead, 4-3.
That's a critical game in Group A.
Deep in the third period, last minute in that game.
Tomashy. Getting the puck by Haas. In with Miranda. And Miranda throws that back in front. It goes right back to the point. Berchi walks in, shoots. That was blocked by Tomashy. Loeffel to Marty, plays that back in. Berchi back on it, leaves it back for Richard. Tanner Richard. As Switzerland's changing. Lost the puck to Kanashko. Lifted high in the air. That's a hand pass called at center ice. 5:13 to go In the third period, Switzerland a 1-goal lead on Slovakia. .13 to go in the third period. Switzerland a 3-2 lead on Slovakia. The Swiss came rolling into this game with 3 straight wins and not allowed a goal. Took a 2-0 lead. But the Slovaks chipped away. A couple in the second. Switzerland retaking the lead here in the third period. Slovaks haven't beaten the Swiss in 11 years of the World Championship. A 1-0 win back in 2012. Siegenthaler opened the scoring, drops it back to Fiala. Here's Hischier with it. Nico Hischier and Jonas Siegenthaler just arrived from the New Jersey Devils. Now centered. Malgin, a backhand shot that's swept away by Levi. Here's Fiala loose behind the Slovak goal, trying to flip that back in front. Siegenthaler chips it back down. Hischier has that bumped away. Even though New Jersey's season ended a while ago, it took a while to finalize the insurance and all those things. And a guy like Hischier has a pretty substantial NHL contract to insure. The federations are responsible for that insurance. Malgin shoots, it pinballs around.
So if he were, touch wood, to get injured, the federation's insurance policy would cover his contract.
Yes.
And not the New Jersey insurance policy.
Right. Lead pass finds Ambuel. In with Niederreiter. Niederreiter in, shoots. Levi makes the save. The puck loose. And now tap back into the pads by Rivik. 3:50 to go in the third.
Really nice route Andreas Ambuel takes in the neutral zone. Cuts it into the middle. Off the boards and able to split the defenseman before sliding over to Niederreiter. I think Levi almost loses his right edge as he's trying to come across to make the save, but finds a way to get in front of it. Does he kind of take a tumble? Yes, he absolutely does take a tumble on the right side. When you're that big, he's getting in the way sometimes.
Slovaks a long way from where they need to be. Rivik off the face-off, taps that back to Janešek. At center ice, Glauser knocked that down. Rivik plays it back for Janešek. Janešek, a third-round pick of Tampa in 2010. Welcome those of you who are watching the Germany-Denmark game here. It is Switzerland a nail-biter with Slovakia up 3-2. 3:25 to go in the third period. Off the bench comes Gaetan Haas. Haas pivots back. Switzerland led the game 2-0. Slovaks chipped away with a couple. And then Switzerland retook the lead here in the third period. Switzerland allowed a goal for the first time in the tournament, but they're trying to run their record of 4-0.
Puck's inside the glove.
That puck's in the glove.
Inside the glove.
How about that? That was Gaetan Haas's. I don't know what. Whose glove is that?
They'd already gone off.
Someone's down a glove on the bench.
That is okay. This is a 1 in a million shots. Only get Roseanne Deitch in the intermission show, trying to shoot a little hole in the net. Not only did he hit it, but he put it right inside it. Or a whistle.
Hard to do. That was Corby's glove that eat up that puck. Inside 3 to go here in the third. The puck goes into the Slovak bench, and the Slovaks need to get the puck to the other end of the rink.
Yeah, they've lost their push shots 12-3 in favor of Switzerland in the third period. And counterattack game hasn't been available because Switzerland's just been better with the puck.
Slovaks have played in 3 straight one-goal games, lost to Czechia their opener 3-2, beat Latvia 2-1 in their second game, then lost a shootout to Canada 2-1 in their third.
On pace for another one.
They've got Kazakhstan, Slovenia, and Norway left on their schedule.
Still in a good spot.
That pass misfires, icing called against the Slovaks. The face-off back down to their end.
It's been a good defensive showing once again for Switzerland. You know Slovakia is trying to push. They're trying to create, trying to activate their defensemen, and Switzerland has just been skating them into the ground. No room to make plays, no room to get up the ice for Slovakia.
Tanner Richard up for the face-off.
It's about a 72% chance he wins it.
Chaho.
28% chance he doesn't.
Switzerland controls, though. Herzog with it. There's Ronald Glauser. 2.5 to go. Hand pass called against the Swiss. The faceoff will come outside.
There's been a boatload of whistles here. I see Berchi with the poke. The thing for Switzerland is they can play just about any one of their lines in this situation.
Yeah.
They don't have to hide anyone. They don't have to double shift anyone. Just keep rolling them over.
Moser lays it back across to Glauser, who fires that down. Nemitz chips that back, but it's picked up by Richard. Slovakia can't get down to the Swiss end. Now it's center ice. Icing waved off as Moser goes back.
Gotta be thinking about Levi pretty soon.
He was making his move out, but he's playing ahead. He's got to retreat now as Berchi works in. Nemitz was spilled in front of the Slovak, or the Swiss bench. He's down and slow to get up. Finally touched up here, and Simone Nemitz shaking up in front of the Swiss bench just outside the blue line.
Linesman was right beside him, asked if he was okay. He shook his head no. So he couldn't get back to his bench. Holding up near his throat area. Oh, the follow through of Richard's stick gets him right up. The toe of the stick gets him up in the cheek or the neck. But it was a follow through on a pass, so no penalty there. Should be okay. It's a very, very sensitive area when you get hit there.
Timeout called by the Slovaks.
Well, this would be a little bit strategy, a little bit rest.
Right. This faceoff's going to be in the Slovak zone.
And if you want Nemitz back on the ice and he's heading down into the pile of instructions, you need a timeout, because if he's the reason they blew the whistle because he's hurt,
right,
he can't stay on the ice.
Right.
So you'll draw up an offensive zone plan, which only works if you can get into the offensive zone.
1:51 to go. Interesting part of Craig Ramsey being the head coach of the Slovak national team since 2018, he doesn't speak Slovak.
As one of his assistants on bench meetings. And Nemitz back on, or yes, back on.
It'll be Hischier for the face-off against Sukol. You don't get much of a break with these Swiss centers.
Oh, they've changed the lines up a little bit. They're giving Ambul and Niederreiter a little bit more defensive than Malgin and Fiala. It probably comes back with Richard again after that.
Face-off controlled by the Swiss. Kuka feeds that back and it's picked up by Kadashko. The Panikata was stripped of the puck, and Niederreiter has it back. Good to check with it. Levi was making his way to the Slovak bench, and now they're calling him as Panik brings it out. Extra skater comes on. And that is Kellerman. And the puck frozen by Meyer, so there will be a face-off in the Swiss zone. So that offensive zone play they drew up can now be implemented.
I don't think Meyer wanted to keep that puck for a whistle. Here was the previous timeout. Strategy being laid out to the guys. This is the guys right now, actually, for the next group out there. Still a minute 25, right? So you're probably going to get through, if nobody scores, 2 different groups.
Suka for the face-off against Hischier. Suka wins it. Hudacek for Nemetz. Hudacek back to Nemetz. Simone Nemetz for Hudacek. Lots of traffic in front. They crisscross. Hudacek feeds that down. It's picked off. Hischier banks it out. And Nemetz has to rein back. Hamlin knocked down by Miranda. Rivik back to pick it up. Inside a minute to go in the third period. Rivik up ahead for Kellerman, and fires that down. Meyer out to play it. Goes back the other way. Simeon chips it ahead. A race for it now. Miranda along with Haas. Miranda for Haas. Scores! Eitan Haas, empty netter. And the Swiss have the insurance goal.
Even the empty netter comes from good defense. A nice play by Meyer, all the way from behind his own net. Chooses the right side to go up, and that allows a nice good chip by Simeon. Get a race Miranda, shoulder checks. Don't worry about going for a net, just get it over the guy's stick. And let Haas touch it in and get out of the way of the net really quickly. And a hard-fought game for Switzerland.
Yeah.
They knew it was going to be probably a good preparation game for their next one against Canada.
So Slovaks once again give their opposition a test. One win in their first 4 games, now need to go on a run in the last 3. Herzog works in. Poked it there by Kanashko. Back down to the Swiss zone as time winds down here. Klauser goes back. And the Swiss will run their record to 4-0 with a 4-2 win over Slovakia. As some pushing and shoving breaks out at the end of this, Slovaks fall to 1-2-1.
Switzerland's emptied the bench, but there's still 2:10 on the clock.
2:10 showing here.
They may just run it off.
No one seems interested in playing this last 2:10.
Well, Slovakia has emptied their bench. It's going to be called ball game.
There you go. Who knows what would have happened in those
Unlikely 2 goals would have been scored.
As the horn sounds. Switzerland's off to a roaring start at the World Championship. Next up, Canada on Saturday at the 2023 World Hockey Championship in Riga, Latvia.
Final score, Team Denmark 4, Team Germany 6.
Rezultāts Tamperē spēlēs ar Dānijas un Vācijas komandām 4-6.
Ladies and gentlemen, best players of each team will be honored by IIHF International, official sponsor of the 2023 Prizes will be presented by Lars Kriebel, Director of Sport of the Swiss Ice Hockey Federation, and His Excellency Branislav Pavlovich, Ambassador of Slovakia to Latvia and Lithuania.
Balvas pasniegs Lars Vībels, Šveices Hokeja federācijas sporta direktors, un viņa ekscelence Braņislavs Pavlovičs, Slovākijas vēstnieks Latvijā un Lietuvā.
The best player of Team Slovakia.
Labākais spēlētājs Slovākijas komandā, numur 21.
Number 21, Miloš Kelemen. The best player of Team Switzerland.
Labākais spēlētājs Šveices komandā, numur 97.
Number 97, Jonas Ziegendale. Dear all, please rise if you are able to for the national anthem of Switzerland.
Dāmas un kungi, lūdzu visi, kuri var piecelieties, lai godinātu Šveices valsts himnu.
Another close, hard-fought game for you guys. What was the difference maker in this one?
Switzerland is showing all tournament that they are, probably the best team in our group. So before our game, they had 0 goals against. So, they're showing they play really good hockey. They're insane in offense zone. So we had a really big trouble today with them, and they showed up. They're better.
Every game's been a close one for you. Big thanks to your goaltender. Talk to us what Sam means to the team.
Yeah, our goalie's been really good so far. Also, we guys, trying to battle every game, give everything what we got, We played against a good opponent so far, so, everything was close. So hopefully next game we can win.
Language. General thoughts on the game and how your team performed?
Tak myslím si, že dneska to bol zase dobrý zápas. Sice tých strel bolo menej, ale náš brankár sa podal dobrý výkon a bohužiaľ chýbajú nám tie góly a nič, ideme ďalej. Thank you.
First game with the team, first goal, and best player of the game. Things were working for you. You felt great out there, I assume?
Yeah, it wasn't easy. I'm gonna be honest, but after I scored the first goal, it's always good to help the team in that way. But I think overall, we stick together and we played a good game.
Team proving to be a powerhouse, one of the tops in this division, potential for a medal as well. How hard of a decision was it to come here and represent your country?
It was a pretty easy decision. They're all good guys. It's always fun to be here with the boys. You grow up playing with them, so everybody knows each other so well, and it's a lot of fun. To be as a group here and play the tournament and fight for your country. So it was an easy decision.
And then in Swiss German, your thoughts on the game and how your team performed here today?
Ich glaube, sicherlich gleich Nordski gewesen, aber wir haben über 60 Minuten sind wir eigentlich das bessere Team gewesen und 2 Drittel müssen wir ein bisschen verbessern, aber ich glaube, im Großen und Ganzen sind wir gut unterwegs gewesen. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Congrats again.
Raised them to fame too, still remain true to the game roots. Say thank you. You say they don't enough for what I say that matter. For saying what you can say, and from the things for rap. you.